All right. So we're going to resume recording. We're waiting on, I think, one more person, but we can go ahead and get started with the non-voting agenda items. So we'll start with updates on the Tuk Tuk event. Sandy and I have met with Big Buzz to start sort of planning for that. I think everyone was here last time when we voted to move forward with it, but the idea is that we're going to have 10 of these Tuk Tuk sculptures produced and fabricated and then install them throughout the business district. And I made some draft maps of, potential spots where we can put them. And I will find those in a second. So I'll make this bigger, but here's sort of a draft map of proposed locations that we're sort of looking at to put them. So we tried to sort of spread it out evenly throughout SSA 43 along Devon. So we're focused on Devon and not so much Western, but we wanted to have it kind of even between, east of Western and west of Western, and focus on blocks that have businesses and that have space at the corners where we could put them. So that list sort of starts with, on the corner of Campbell and Devon, like maybe over by Sabrina Hari. I don't know, Junaid, if you're here, are you doing Sidewalk Cafe this season? Do you know?
I don't think he's here. Okay.
All right, I'll ask him when he gets back, because part of why I wanted to share this with everybody was for those that are here, that are near some of these intersections, to sort of start to gauge, like, who's okay with having one like in front of their space, and might be interested in.
Across from Junaid, we can probably do it too on my side,
yeah,
or even by the fruit market.
Yours is on that list as sort of an alternate for that corner, because it's sort of centrally located. So we wanted to make sure we're doing something there. Also the corner by
fruit market's busy too on Artesian,
yeah.
So that might be another one.
Yeah, is there enough corner space there at that one though? Like, I don't remember if they've got like one of the little seating areas in the corner.
No, that's a big spot. That's probably bigger than Campbell. All
right, that's a good one. If it doesn't work on Campbell for whatever reason. Swati was sort of on the list. I know that's kind of close to Jay. And then Republic Bank has sort of a big area that it might make sense to put one. Croatian Cultural Center.
Yeah, I would maybe look at where you have a lot of pedestrian traffic rather than just space, because you want people that are walking around, right, to take pictures with this and all.
Well, yeah, we want to get people that are already here, and then we want to be able to promote it, to bring additional foot traffic to the community as well.
But like where Republic Bank kind of dies down with foot traffic. So maybe, where that closed restaurant across the street, something like that might be a better idea.
I thought about that when I was putting the map together, but I also don't love the idea of putting one in front of a closed space, especially if people are going to be taking pictures with it.
Agreed. How about maybe across the street then?
Yeah. The other thing to keep in mind too is that when we do movie nights later on in the summer, those are going to be hosted at Republic Bank too. Right. So I think it makes sense to kind of still include them.
Okay. No, nothing personal. It's just people stop walking over there.
No, I get it, because you have the big parking lot, so that kind of takes a bite out of it a little bit. But yeah, we're hoping to get them involved. And actually, the next page I have, whoops, that's not it. I had started doing. I sort of put together screenshots of like each of the corners that's on this list of like where we could potentially put them. So this is, Avi's got more space on his corner at Kedzie than the space across the street where the sidewalks are pretty narrow. So I'm definitely planning to talk to him about hosting one in his sort of parking lot yard area. Devon and Richmond, you've got sort of two different options as far as like the big streetscape areas and music houses there. So you've got, families with kids. Devon and Mozart, here again, you've got decent foot traffic for Dollar Tree and Croatian Cultural Center. So it could really kind of go on either of those corners. Devon and Richmond, you've got the bank. It could sort of hang out in this corner near the statue. It sort of gives a nice backdrop. Devon and Talman, I thought was sort of to use this corner near Uruswati, because it's got, again, another big seating area. Devon and Rockwell, we've already got the mural. So I plan on reaching out to VJ to see if he's cool with us having one on his corner too. And then the sort of space by Sabrina Hari, Devon and Oakley again with the seating area and the pizza place, Parbirdie, and then Garib Nawaz, if we can make it work, because the sidewalk's kind of narrow. There's, this is part of the district where they didn't do the full streetscape redesign that was done, so there's not as much space on those corners, but we know that's the super high traffic area, so that is a priority if we're able to make it happen. So that's sort of the locations that we're looking at. So we're going to be reaching out to contacts for each of these properties to make sure that people are on board and that are cool with it. But sort of the next piece of it, the other ask is whether individual like businesses and any of you guys have artists or anyone that you want to have be involved in decorating these. So that's something to sort of start thinking about if anyone's got, professional artist contacts or even community groups that might be interested in being the organization or artist to paint these.
Interesting. I think maybe just get pictures of really done up ones from India and copy them.
Okay.
Rather just give one or two artists the opportunity to come replicate something that's there. It'll give that back home feeling maybe.
Okay. Any other thoughts or feedback on the Tuk Tuk project? Avi, I saw you just joined us. Hi.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
So they can actually sit inside and take pictures, right? That's the whole goal of it?
Yeah, it won't be a full Tuk Tuk. It's just like the front of it, but they can get behind it and be in the windows and take pictures.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, with Avi joining us, I think that puts us at quorum. So I'll go back to the agenda for a second so that we can, officially call the meeting to order. It's 2:52, and then do the voting items, which was approval of last meeting's minutes and the glass damage board up rebate policy. Does anyone have any public comment before we do that? All right. Doesn't look like we have any public comment. Does anybody want to make a motion to approve the minutes?
Anyone?
Everyone's
Motion to
just-
approve
yeah.
minutes.
Thanks. Second?
I'll do the second.
I
Great.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Aye.
Thanks. All right. The next item on here in need of a vote is glass damage board up and rebate policy. So I'll screen share what we have for that. But by way of background, we were asked by the owners at Cold Tooth Grocery and also Tel Aviv Bakery that were both vandalized a couple weeks back. It was a hate crime incident. They got windows knocked out, and they asked for assistance from the SSA with replacing their storefront glass. So Sandy and I went back through our meeting minutes from the summer of 2020 when all the board up stuff was happening with the unrest. And at that time, commissioners had, proposed and adopted a policy that for criminal damage and storefront unrest, based on that event, that future requests of this nature for the SSA, we'd assist, up to 50% of glass replacement, not covered by insurance, up to a max of $2,000. And since 2020, so we had this, hate crime incident against the Jewish businesses a few weeks back. And in that time on Howard Street, we've also had a number of similar incidents with break-ins and gunfire and people requesting assistance with window replacement in that SSA. So it occurred to us that maybe we want to spin this off into its own policy and codify rules and an application procedure so that we can assist businesses when stuff like this happens in a timely way. And unfortunately, have a plan for when responses like this are needed, because we thought we'd be done with it in 2020, but it keeps coming up. So as a, move toward business
Cindy, doesn't
retention,
insurance cover this?
most don't. Usually their deductibles are too high. Or if they've been hit before, we've had one business on Howard Street that had plate glass coverage, but they've had their windows shot out so many times that they can no longer get it. So we don't want that business to close or move to the suburbs. So we felt, it made sense to have a policy in place to assist them so that they don't leave or close.
And which businesses are asking for this? Koltuve and who else?
So Koltuve and Tel Aviv Bakery, Sandy and I, conferred and spoke with them, and we just ended up cutting them checks, in between meetings because it was a time sensitive issue that needed repair. Those were only a couple $100 just to replace plate glass. And so those both were done, but we felt, we wanted to codify a policy that would apply not just for that incident, but for all of our SSAs, because it's becoming an issue.
The question is, how are we gonna differentiate between hate crime and just regular breaking glass, or we have to make one policy and cover it no matter what?
So what we distinguished here in this particular case was, because part of it's, wanting to make sure that our businesses are actually like filing police reports and reporting criminal activity that's causing property damage. So this applies only for criminal activity, and you, in order to be eligible, have to file a police report and show us that you filed a police report in order to be eligible. And you have to attest that your insurance, either doesn't cover it or the amount that your insurance is covering, based on your deductible or whatever. So, to sort of address the insurance question, because yeah, everyone should have insurance and most do, but the deductibles are usually so high that it doesn't cover, replacement of a couple of windows.
Okay, so I'm assuming even if they have insurance and let's say the deductible is $1,000, we should maybe offer to cover the deductible.
So the way that it's worded here now is that it's 50% of whatever your insurance doesn't cover, whether that's so if your deductible is $1,000, well, we'd cover 500. So it's 50% of whatever your insurance won't cover, up to a max of $2,000.
And if you don't have that insurance,
Yeah, that's the problem. If they choose not to get the insurance because of this, or if their deductible is $5,000, that it's become, I think it's got to be case by case. And, on Devon, we've had, disgruntled customers that have walked out and broke somebody's window and left. We can't.
That's still a crime, though. That's still a crime.
Right, criminal damage.
I'm not saying that.
I think we should put a dollar amount on it, cap it at a certain amount.
Can I just add that the other thing that we put in here is if it's under $500, it doesn't have to be case by case, but over $500 it does. So it's in here that if it's just a couple $100, we could just pay it without having to come back to the commission. But if it's over $500, it would be brought to you.
Makes sense.
I prefer to keep it case by case. I think it's up to you guys.
Yeah, I
Even if
understand
it's
for a
even if
couple
it's
of
under
$100, not
$500?
worth the time.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it should be.
it's just,
Okay.
sorry, say that again, Mark.
Oh, I think it should be case by case, but anything over $500.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, and then the other piece of it too, worth noting, is that part of the reason that we wanted to spin this off was so that it wouldn't jeopardize future eligibility for applying for BIP. So this would just be limited to making repairs of things that are directly damaged as a result of criminal activity. Because, you know, with some of these folks that we know have had repeat problems, we want them to be able to have BIPs so that they can apply for like security shutters. So just something to keep in mind. The other SSAs, I think, I'm not sure if 24 has adopted this yet, but 19 and 54 have approved it and adopted this policy.
In
Makes
which
sense.
case we would need a motion.
Okay, what are we motioning?
To approve this program.
Okay, I make a motion to approve this program.
Me too. I second the motion.
All right, all in favor?
What's the motion? Hold on. How do we
The
do
motion
that?
is that up to $500, the office is gonna cut a check without a
vote.
meeting, but
Okay.
over that, case by case, we'll decide what to give them and how much.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, all in favor?
Obviously, going to be our new chair.
Well, I'm trying to get things moving.
I get
Yes,
it. I love it. I love it.
So it's approved. We got 2 people to vote. Sanita, you didn't say anything.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, done. All
Thanks.
right. Next.
All right, we'll take it back to the agenda. Thanks for that. So the rest of these were just sort of informational update items. So we talked a little bit about plans for the Tuk Tuk event. So we presented the draft map of where we're looking to actually put the Tuk Tuks. And then, you know, the next step will be reaching out to property owners at these corners to make sure that everyone's on board and cool with it, and then trying to facilitate connections between, you know, the businesses and our team, and then artists or community groups that'll be tasked with decorating and or painting each of the Tuk Tuks. So if anybody has contacts that would be interested in, you know, being part of that process as an artist or community group that would be decorating or painting them, that's something that'll be sort of the next step in this. So if you have anybody, you know, please let us know, or if there's someone that you want us to reach out to about painting these.
Okay, I have 2 people, so I'll send you their email and name and phone number.
Awesome. Anybody else?
What I'm sorry, just to paint it cut
Yeah,
out.
anybody, if you have like an artist or community group that you have a contact with that would be interested in painting one.
And we
can
pay
ask.
for this is a paid position?
So the idea is that we would probably allocate some budget for supplies and probably a small honorarium for artists or groups that would be painting them. Yeah. And I'll get those numbers for folks when we send that email out.
Okay. I'll email you.
Great.
Maura, did you guys move?
Still here.
Huh?
We're the Wheels of Chicago.
I don't know. There was a dealership on California that moved. That wasn't you guys, right?
No. We're still here.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Next item after Tuk Tuks, I did want to talk with you all about light pole banners. I know we replaced a great many of them last summer. As Brandon and I have been out in the district, we've noticed that there are a couple dozen again that are needing to be replaced. So before we do that and get quotes for replacing, you know, the half that didn't get replaced last time, I wanted to reach out to you all and ask if we want to consider new banners, like a new design or something, because now would be the time to do that. So replace all of them with a new design, or just replace the ones that are damaged that we know need replaced.
Can I just add that we had Brandon go out and kind of look at it. And of the 100 and whatever banners we put up, about half of them have been damaged. There are about 46 good banners on Devon Avenue, and then whatever's on Western. The banners on Western seem to last longer because for some reason Devon is like this wind tunnel, and the banners get torn up a lot.
Sandy, is it because of the wrong size issue that we had before?
I don't think so, because we fixed it and they're still tearing. So I don't.
Can we have them made to the proper size rather than using that extra bracket?
No, I think we need we can't. So the size was correct. The problem is that the size that the city requires us to put to do with the banners, the brackets are not in the right places and we can't move them. So that's why we needed the extra.
It's a code issue.
But we have the extra brackets, so that shouldn't be an issue at this point. The issue is the issue is we need to replace about half the banners that we have. We can replace them. We could do new photography. We could, or, is it time to do a new campaign again and do new banners? Or do we not want any more banners on Devon because of the issue we had with them?
Can they make them in a way that they won't tear as much? To
No.
put it like some kind of a bar in the middle or something?
How long did they last?
When did we put them up? Do you remember?
It
3
was
years
either
ago?
the last summer or the summer before that I had them do like probably 30 or 40.
Right. So let's say they last 3 years at the most.
No, maybe we should find something else to hang on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had similar issues, don't forget, with the mandala installations too.
Signage has like those flower pots up there, and then there's on Pulaski, they've got just a design banner rather than something written with holes in it. So maybe
Yeah.
the air passes through. So maybe somebody or I can go take some pictures and from other
Well,
SSAs.
ours have holes. Ours have the holes in them, so the air passes through.
Okay.
One option could be like the metal banners,
Yeah.
which
Yeah, I mean,
which
that's
don't
what I'm saying.
tear.
Something we're not, so we don't spend as much money again.
Yeah.
Well, they're really
my-
expensive.
My
Yeah, they're
my
really
understanding from some conversations that I've had with reps from CDOT for some of my other districts is that typically the hanging baskets usually only get done if it's done like as part of like a larger streetscape project, because you have to have specific light poles that have the capacity to hang them from. And then from talking with other districts and SSAs, they are a bit more expensive to maintain because the landscape contractor has to come out with like a lift truck in order to water them. And they have to use ladders and lifts in order to plant them.
I think it's worth it. It makes a big difference.
Can
What
we
makes
use
a difference?
that?
Sorry, I missed that.
I missed it too.
I think it makes a big difference in the landscape of the street, and I think it's worthwhile.
The plants.
Yes.
The hanging baskets. Did you?
That
hang
would
baskets?
that would solve our vandalism issue that tends to crop up.
I
with
would love it. If you go on
Yeah.
Oakton Avenue in downtown Skokie,
Yeah.
they have them, and it's beautiful.
They have them in Saguenay also. They look really
There
nice.
you
on
go.
SSA.
Correct. We have the money. It's a matter of,
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Yeah. Let's make it. My understanding or thought process is we can make it that nice. Maybe people won't litter as much and spit as
Yeah.
much. It's a hope. I don't think it's possible. But,
I mean, I'm not saying not to do the ground ones, but this could be an addition.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you have nice hanging plants, it look great.
I'll have to reach out to
I brought
CDOT
this
to
up
see if our
like
polls
about
can
a year
do it.
ago.
Yeah. It's certainly something that if folks are interested in, I'll look into, but I'm not sure if our poles that we have are rated for hanging baskets.
They just have to weld to it. These poles are heavy duty. Nothing is going to happen to this.
The city is super conservative and cautious about that stuff. So they are new-ish. You compared to some of my other areas, they are newer poles because this
Right.
area was streetscape some years back.
Right.
So I'm perfectly willing to make that ask.
Okay.
But if the
Look
answer is
into
no,
it.
we want to have, sort of a backup plan for that.
Okay, so let's look into that, see if it's possible or not, and then otherwise we'll look at other options.
Maybe we'll
Can
get
we
a
use-
meeting with Brightview and we can actually talk to them about it.
That's later on this agenda, but
Excuse me, can we use flags also? They are in Lincolnwood and they look very nice.
Flags
something we'll look
from
at.
the poles.
Yeah. It's all over in Lincolnwood and they look very nice. When kids are, parents are asking kids, okay, find which this flag belongs to which country. So
Oh,
it's
cool.
kind of interesting thing here. So
Well,
I
that-
really like it.
Yeah, that could be part of instead of the banners, we do flags. That could be a, replacement for the banners. We want to do different flags of different countries.
Yeah, that could be cool. I'll take a look and see if I can find information on, how Lincolnwood did that or facilitated it. So at this point, so I think what we'll do is, maybe when the weather warms up, because I already have the banner company coming to take down some damaged ones on SSA 19. I'll probably ask them to remove damaged ones on Devon, just so we don't have sort of janky, messed up looking ones still hanging. And we'll get some of that research for you for the meeting next month, so that we can sort of determine how we want to proceed regarding banners. Landscaping is the next item on here. As Sandy mentioned, we've been trying to get in touch with Brightview to schedule a meeting for them to put together spring plant lists for us for all 4 SSAs. I think a couple of you had asked me about the new planter pots that we voted to install last fall. So we put in the request, we ordered planters to match the planters that were already there. And those are not the planters they installed. They installed a bunch of planters we've never seen before that don't match. So we called up Brightview and we're like, what the hell? So our account rep that was handling that left, and it's been handed off to a new account rep, and he's trying to get to the bottom of what happened with it. So they are in the process of trying to procure the correct planters for us for spring. And I'm working to get a meeting on with him to work out plant lists and scheduling for spring planter installation, because we're about to be in March. So typically they do that installation usually in April or May is when they'll start. So we want to make sure, that we have everything and can share it with you. Sandy, am I missing anything on planters? The new guy we are not super impressed with. He's not been really responsive as far as replying to calls or emails or meeting requests. So we are going to look to issue a new RFP for new landscaping services as early as this spring.
Well,
because
it
we are
is,
due.
Cindy, it is winter time, but maybe they're
but
a little lazy in the winter.
typically, because they have to source all the plants and everything that they're going to order several months in advance, because they're ordering it, for production from greenhouses. So we need to, make sure that we have our order in. But in either case, we are going to be issuing a new RFP for plants, because the current contract, this is the last year. And with all the changes and inconsistency that we've had, with our prior plant vendor, it's I think time to take a look at our scope and what we want, and do a request for bids for new contracts for next year, since we were going to have to do it anyway. So more to come on that. Lighting replacement, better news there than on the landscaping or banner front. So I did speak with Scott, our vendor, for that last week. He sounds pretty confident that he'll have the materials in order to install the new color changing lights on the poles in probably May. So we should have those in place for the summer season, which is really exciting. Finally on the list, so pigeon abatement. Urshad, I know you had mentioned that you had some buildings that you wanted to nominate for the 5 or 6 buildings that we're going to do this year. I'm going to follow up with our pest control company about that, and about making sure that we've completed work at the buildings that were done for 2021. But the new piece of information that I have to share is on the signage project. I was able to contract with a translation service to get our draft pigeon signage translated into Arabic and Hindi. Can everybody see that? I'm screen sharing it. Does this look okay? If we have any speakers of Arabic or Hindi on here, like just to, make sure there's not any glaring errors, but there shouldn't be because we went with a pretty professional translation firm for these.
I can see the screen. I think it's not moving. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
it shouldn't be moving. So I just scrolled down from the Arabic page to the Hindi page.
I like the picture.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was, regardless of language, I think the picture gets the meaning across, but we wanted to be inclusive and have all four. So I think the thought is that we're going to print ones that people can stick in windows, and then also potentially have some of the sort of yard sign ones that we can put in our planting areas. And those will be double-sided. Sorry?
What language is Urdu?
So this is Hindi, and then we did Arabic. And then we also have English and Spanish. So we have sort of 4 different versions.
Okay, yeah, Hindi is correct.
Oh, good, thanks.
But it's very hard Hindi. People will not understand.
No,
Yeah, I sent it too. That was an easy Hindi.
all right. Yeah, the difficulty was that none of the sign companies were able to do the graphic design piece of it. So, we don't have the ability to write in Hindi in the graphic design programs that we use. So we needed to find somebody that did.
Okay.
So we went with the translation company.
Yeah, no, it's correct. 100%
Yeah.
correct.
Okay. So I think sort of the last piece is, how many do we feel like, is a good number to order? I know when we did the open for business COVID signage last year, I think we ordered 200. Does that sound like a good number for folks?
Where are we putting these?
So my plan is to have some like poster size ones that people can put in storefront windows, as well as some of the yard sign ones that stick in the ground in our planter areas.
Nothing on the poles, huh?
Nothing on the poles, because you're not supposed to put things on poles. Typically when we go out, with the crew and see, things taped up, we get that stuff taken down unless it's like city parking signage. So we wanted to have something that
I thought we were going to put them in the in-ground planters.
we are. That's
So,
we're going to do both.
yeah, so that and in people's windows.
Yeah. And the last time that we ordered window signage to distribute to folks, I think we ordered 200.
We did 200 because we wanted to put one in every storefront. I don't think every storefront was going to want to put one of these in their store.
So maybe we start with, 100 and see if we need to order more.
I'm the most 100, I think.
Okay. And in addition to, because I'm for the in-ground planters, I'm just going to go through my list and count up the number of those. And
100 of each
Yeah.
language or 100 total?
So they can be sort of front back. So we could have all of them have English on the back, and then have some that have Arabic and some that have Spanish, or,
Okay.
and then people can have the option as to which side they want facing out. And the yard signs will be double-sided as well.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions on pigeon signage? All right. That is pretty much everything that I had on the agenda for this month.
Real quick, Cindy, sorry.
yeah.
On the pigeon sign, can we make the sign look more like a pigeon? I mean, the sign looks a little just like a bird. They have pre-made pigeon signs. We can't do that with some writing.
So the idea with this was that we wanted it to be consistent with the branding that we have for On Devon, especially if we're now talking about eliminating banners. We want to have our On Devon branding still be used in the public way. So that's part of
That
why
makes sense. Never
we did a
mind.
custom
That's
one.
fine.
Yeah. And because there weren't the general ones didn't cite the actual city statute regarding it. So we wanted to have that information there as well.
What happened at the end? Did we hire the guy to do the pigeon thing, or that we never approved that?
No, we did. He did 5 or 6 buildings for us last year. And we're going to reach out to him again. So if there's specific buildings, Avi, that you want to nominate, or that have a lot of pigeon mess on them, definitely let me know those addresses and I'll reach out. It seems to have been. So the Devon and Richmond corner, which was the first building that we did, that was having the most issues with pigeons. I haven't heard any complaints from them about it since the building was treated. And the few times that I've been over there, it does seem much cleaner. There's a lot less bird activity. Ditto at Croatian Center.
Is that by Koltuv and Tel Aviv? Because
yeah, so that's that corner. They've had pigeon problems for a long time over there. And then Croatian Center too, because people were going in the parking lot and feeding them.
Okay.
But it seems to have trailed off some, but like there's definitely still lots of pigeon flocks on Devon. Like I was out there all the weekend. Yeah. Your corner like doesn't seem as bad. I think because you're closer to the park.
I think they're scared that I'm gonna make fried chicken out of them.
All right, so we got anything else?
That's all that was on. Oh, go ahead.
Just one question. Do we have some kind of a sticker or magnet for this round thing on Devon? So we can distribute like when we go anywhere, so we can give it to people so they know Devon is something. Just
like a sticker or magnet of what? Of the logo?
Just the logo thing.
We haven't. That's something that I could look into because I'm going to be reaching out to sign companies for getting these printed. How big do you think, just a couple inch kind of thing?
Just on Devon thing and have a website address on that.
Okay.
Maybe
so they can, if they are interested, they'll be like they want to see what's going on Devon, or so they can go to that website and see.
Yeah.
How about like keychains?
We already have made one time.
I still have boxes.
Keychains and glasses.
Boxes. The glasses are gone.
Maybe a magnet or something else.
Yeah,
or vice
magnet.
versa.
I prefer magnet so people can sticker, or maybe sticker also.
Stickers we're going to end up peeling stickers off of everything. I like the magnet idea.
Okay, magnet is good.
We still have keychains, and we still have. I think we're out of keychains. We have sunglasses, or we have boxes of something.
I'm not sure that we do. I feel like I went looking for them and couldn't find them.
How about back of the phone credit card holders? Those are pretty cool.
Those are nice, yeah.
This way people put them behind their phone and they keep their stuff in there and it's always with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely look into getting some quotes for some of that. Yeah. But then you already have one, so like, yeah. Like, do you have space for a new one?
I've got a supplier
all the time.
Yeah.
For some ideas.
Cool. All right. Anything else?
No. Somebody motion
All
adjourn.
right.
Motion to adjourn.
Cool.
Second.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you
Bye.
very much. Bye-bye.